There is a nice book, if you have an opportunity, you must read, The Politics of Hope, written by Jonathan Sacks. He takes a child through the streets of London. He shows the Westminster, the Parliament House, and so on, the Whitehall, where the bureaucracy is located. And he tells this is the place where all power emanates, and emanates for the purpose of distribution, for the benefit of the people. And he takes the child through the streets of the commercial streets of London, like Oxford Street and so on, and says this is where wealth is created and wealth is distributed. The child asks if there are people who are distributing power and wealth to the people, why is it that we still have problems? Then he takes it towards the St. Paul's Cathedral and says, what is missing is the family values and ethical values in our society. Our religious teachers are supposed to provide this, and we are supposed to follow them. We are supposed to imbibe from them some of the good things that can transform not only personal life, but the life of the nation, the life of the world. And so, it is necessary that these values are absolutely necessary. Mere, as I mentioned even at the beginning, mere army cannot guarantee security and freedom. You saw how one of our prime ministers was shot dead by the security guard. So it is necessary to check some of the adverse things that have taken place and see that we correct ourselves as we go along. I thought I should invite you to a few observations of Nani Palkhiwala in his famous book, We the People. He says, nobody expects politics to be synonymous with ethics. But the unusual predicament facing India, this he wrote in 1999, the unusual predicament facing India is that an unacceptably large percentage of 5,000 members of parliament and the state legislatures have sunk to such a level that to call their maneuvers a rat race for winning election and personal gain would be defamatory of rats. Indian democracy has reached its nadir because in our average politician, we have the sordid amalgam of lack of intellect with lack of character and lack of knowledge. At this moment, when the nation is standing on the escalator of anarchy and corruption, right-minded citizens cannot afford to stand frozen in disgust and dismay. We cannot merely look upon the political developments in sorrow and upon our politicians in anger. The problem facing our country has to be solved without any delay. It is relevant even today. We are racing against time. A problem avoided turns into a crisis, and the crisis not mastered and controlled will turn into a disaster further down the road. Honest and knowledgeable members of our society should reverse this trend, which they have adhered to so long, or opting out in the democratic process. There should be a nationwide debate in depth as to how we can meet the crisis facing the country. To shut our eyes to the gravity of situation would only be to invite the forces of authoritarianism of the type which overran the country not so long ago. So please realize that you have responsibility as citizens of this country, apart from responsibility as a member of the family and as a member of the society. You have to earmark a part of your time for the benefit of the community, for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of the nation. I wish to conclude with an appeal to all of you to live a life that matters. This is a quotation which I read in one of the internet website. I thought it's so relevant. Ready or not, someday it will come to an end. There will be no more sunrises, no minutes or hours or days. All the things you collected, whether you treasured or forgotten, will pass to something else. Your wealth, fame and temporal power will shrivel to irrelevance on that day. It will not matter what you vowed or what you were vowed. Your grudges, resentments, frustrations and jealousies will finally disappear on one day. So too your hopes, ambitions, plans and to-do lists will expire. The wins and losses that once seemed so important will fade away. It won't matter where you come from or on what side of the tracks you lived at the end. It won't matter whether you are beautiful or ugly or brilliant. Even your gender and skin color will be irrelevant. So what will matter in life? How will the value of your days be measured? What will matter is not what you bought, but what you gave or what you built. Not what you got, but what you gave. What will matter is not your success, but your significance. What will matter is not what you learned, but what you taught. What will matter is every act of integrity, compassion, courage, or sacrifice that enriched, empowered, or encouraged others to emulate your example. What will matter is not your competence, but your character. What will matter is not how many people you knew, but how many will feel a lasting loss when you are gone. What will matter is not your memories, but the memories that live in those who loved you. What will matter is how long you will be remembered, by whom and for what purpose. Living a life that matters doesn't happen by accident. It is not a matter of circumstance, but of choice. Choose it today to live a life that matters. You have to understand the significance of a human life, and you have to make a choice. Life is full of choices, but you have to make one important choice. Do you want to live for yourself or for the country or for the society in which you live? I think I was just reading yesterday night this beautiful book, My India, The India Eternal by Swami Vivekananda. And some of the speeches he gave, I think they are worth reading and reading almost in every meeting of Indians. So that I hope one day all of us will rise and realize the purpose of human living. May I say that if all of you realize the deficiencies in our system, and without merely finding fault, if all of you can take one step forward to see that we make the government accountable, we raise questions at the relevant points at the relevant forum and ask how our people can be served better, there is no need for so much of inequality. As I mentioned, some parts of this country suffer from acute poverty, acute disease, acute lack of health and sanitation. So it is necessary for all of us to allot a portion of our life to improve the quality of life. Do not depend mainly on the government, because governments will come and go. History has taught many lessons that mere existence of authority cannot achieve any progress. Progress has to come from the people. Progress has to be led by the people. And if we keep our eyes closed, if we keep our ears closed, and if we keep our mouths closed, I think injustice will continue to be there. Misgovernance will continue to be there. Malgovernance will not be questioned by anybody else. So don't keep quiet, awaken yourself and realize your responsibility. I have no doubt that this great democracy will survive, but my doubts is, will it survive with good quality? That is where the people of this country, the youth of this country, because as I mentioned, you have greater stakes about the growth of this nation, and you cannot keep quiet.